Okay. Um, so the reason that I created the show was I wanted the I wanted the streamers on the app who, let's start over. Can we start this over, please? I don't like that. I don't like that. I was gathering my thoughts. I was trying to think deeply about it. Okay. Ja. Okay, ready? Okay. Question one. Why did I create the show and what has been my favorite interview that I've done? Okay. So the reason that I created this show, I wanted to, number one, add content to my live streams. And I thought, what do I do or what do I feel that I'm good at that would be a natural extension of what I already do? Um, I featured people frequently in the box when I first started streaming. And I thought, what could I do that would be the next step or the next stage of that? I also thought about what am I passionate about when it comes to Meet Me, and it's the interconnectivity portion. It's a platform that people who otherwise would not have met are able to connect and meet each other. And so I thought, what if we took streamers, featured them, and then people who wouldn't have seen them, maybe you like a certain social group of streamers, and because of that you're able to talk and meet those people, but there's an entire another portion of the app full of content creators and individuals that you otherwise would not have met. And so I thought, okay, let's interview people. And not only that, when you stream, it's hard to hold a conversation. It's hard to get out a lot of details. And there's people who go to view streams and they like the person that they're seeing and they have a lot of questions. They're curious about who that person is in their real life, or what their streams are about or what they're passionate about. And so I thought, okay, if we interview people and we talk about them, we can really dig into what they're passionate about, what their story is, and learn something about them. And from that, you can develop a relationship. You can have more of a connection with someone. So I just thought an interview style show would really be the best way to encompass all of those things. What has been my favorite interview so far? I can say that I don't know that I've had a favorite interview, but I can say that when I do enjoy an interview, it's because it doesn't follow a typical script that I have. I like it when I talk with someone that I'm surprised they're able to talk freely about themselves. I love it when when someone comes on and they really lay it all out. They open their heart, they open themselves, and they express a side of them that is personal. What has made them and developed them into the person that they are today? My favorite, most memorable stream for the show was the VidCon announcement. So that was when Jim B, he's one of the C-suite executives of Meet Me. He's the boss. He's the boss man. Jim B, the boss. He came on and he announced that Meet Me was throwing a rooftop party for VidCon. And on that episode, we had Holly, we had Dar, and we had Turk. And that was really toward the beginning of my friendship with Turk. And so that's special too to me. So yeah, that's what I'd say for question one. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. Okay. Okay. Question number two. I'm a judge on Unstoppable Idol. What are the ups and downs of being a judge? Um, um, yeah, being a judge, it's a bit of a roller coaster in the sense of you're developing a relationship with the competitors, but at the same time, it's got to be business, and you can't bring personal bias into it. Um, I would say the ups are seeing someone grow, seeing them become more confident in themselves. I always point to Joker um, as an example of this. Is he's someone who came in with very little confidence. He wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do with his talent. He didn't know what his survivability was in the competition with his talent. Um, then by the end of it, he ended up winning the whole thing. And that was really special to see. Some of the lows, cutting people. There's a lot of times people who are very talented, who make it all the way to the finals, and we're splitting hairs trying to figure out who's gonna win. Why should they win? And it really sucks to have to tell your friends, the individuals that you've been working with, I'm sorry, you're not going forward. This person is moving forward, and that's definitely the low point. I would have to say. Question number 3: what are some hobbies that I enjoy outside of live streaming and being on Idle? Uh, I'm a busy person. I keep very, 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 very busy. I work full time, so I have a job that I have a career that keeps me more than 40 hours a week. Outside of that, I'm very much a family oriented person. I'm very much a friend oriented person. The whole reason and one of the biggest parts of live streaming that I enjoy is the personal connection and how you develop relationships with people. And so I have a saying, I have a couple sayings, but one of my favorite sayings that I have is that it's not about where it's at, it's who it's with. And um, I I at all times am keeping it top of my mind, how can I be with the people that I care about? Because that's a life worth living. And life by yourself is not I could never travel by myself. And that's something that I know many people love to do, is travel and see the world. And I couldn't do that by myself because I wouldn't be experiencing it with someone. I like to share memories. I'm very sentimental. I like to, mull over nostalgia, things like that. Um, so I like to play strategy based games, so like Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, simulation games, stuff like that. I'm not too big into first person shooters, but I do like horror video games, action video games, so like Resident Evil, Dead Space, The Evil Within, that kind of stuff. I really like that. Um, what other hobbies do I have? Yeah, I like trading cards. I like trading cards and things like that. I like cinema, movies, comedy. Really, if as long as I'm doing it with somebody that I care about, the rest is frosting. I could be sitting around a campfire having a beer with someone I care about, or I could be out on a racetrack. I don't know why I said racetrack, but it really be anything. Just as long as it's with someone I care about. Real, real quick before you jump to the next one. There's two things that I like to live by. It's and the number one is it's not about where it's at, it's who it's with. Number two is I reserve the right to change my mind provided new information is given. And so what does that all mean? I reserve the right to change my mind provided new information is given. It's that it's always okay to change and have a different change of heart. It's okay to feel differently about something than you used to. I think there's this misconception that you have to always be consistent about one particular view or consistently feel one way about something. That like because you said this, now you have to always stick to it. I think there's a difference between that and there's things like honesty and loyalty that are factored in. But say for example, you learn something new regarding a political view that you have, or maybe something about climate change. Maybe one way or another, you feel a certain way, and maybe prior you had felt one way strongly. But having the open-mindedness at all times, what it comes back to is reserving the right to change your mind provided new information is given, means that you reserve the right to keep an open mind. You reserve the right to challenge your own perspective and have a new perspective come in. Because I think when you stop learning, when you stop allowing yourself to have different insights or different perspectives, that's when you're done growing. And I don't ever want to confine myself in my life to feel like I've stopped growing. So anyway, that's that last piece there. So okay, what's the next? Yeah, I'm a recruiter, so I used to do sales for a company. Prior to that, I did sales. I started a small business when I was in college. Started an LLC. But before that, I was serving steaks, hosting, busboying, all that kind of stuff. So I did the service industry for 6 years, and then I moved into professional sales. And then I moved to another company doing sales, and then I was promoted into recruitment. Um, that's what I do for a living. Okay, question 5. What types of benefits and what types of negative consequences has being a streamer on Meet Me had? Um, as far as positive benefits, uh, they're limitless. It's the relationships that I've made, ranging from um, best friends and really good friends to someone that is my girlfriend, to now, traveling the world to meet people. It's it's a lot. There's the monetary aspect to it, but really, if you took away the diamonds and all of that, the core reason of why I'm here is still here. And that's the opportunity to build relationships, make friends, learn about other people. Um, I value relationships above everything in my life. No amount of money, no amount of success, no amount of anything can trade for genuine relationships, genuine interest, genuine things where people care about you. I mean, at all times, I would trade anything financial to make sure and that I have the people that I care about closest to me, that they're in the best of health, that they're safe, that they're with me, that I can be with them, those types of things. Um, what negative aspects has there been to Meet Me? I sacrificed some of my time, especially in the beginning, more than I should have. I think that I prioritized doing Meet Me, and I said no to being out with some friends, or I said no to doing certain events. I stayed and I locked myself in. At the same time, I wouldn't trade that. I don't think that was a mistake, but I think there were some negative consequences where I could have been out connecting with the people that I value so much more. But at the same time, I was building new relationships, and some of them more healthy relationships, by streaming. Um, yeah, but the most positive thing would be like getting to meet No Bro World, for example, who's right here. Getting to meet Marquise, getting to meet Hashi, getting to meet so many people that I would not have otherwise met. I mean, if you really think about it, we're having virtual conversations with individuals cherry picked all around the country and world. How amazing is it that all of us have the opportunity to meet one another, learn about each other, and then get to the point where we can travel to different parts of the country, see each other, and feel like it's not strangers. Like, have these relationships already built. That's so wild to me. It's so wild, and I could not think of something better to come of it. So yeah, I would definitely say that would be the most positive. And as far as a negative consequence, I really can't think of any negative consequences. And I think most of that would have to do with I keep myself out of the drama, and I think that I have a mature perspective of how people communicate on the platform. So I don't want to get too far into the weeds of that, but I think that's why I haven't had much of a negative experience using it. Question 6. Have I met anyone from the app? Have I traveled into the special events or Meet Me hosted events? And if so, what has been my favorite event? Yes, I have met countless people from the app. I feel very fortunate for that. It's it's surreal when you see the individuals on a camera versus when you actually are in person with them. It's very surreal because on one hand, it feels very natural, like you've known this person for a very long time, and that you have all of these things in common, and you already know so much about the person. But on the opposite end, it's your first time physically being in the presence of this person. Um, Something that's unique about live streaming, especially with the top live streaming community, is that these are individuals who are live on a very consistent, very frequent basis. So even if someone were trying to fake themselves or as their live self, there's a lot of time for them to slip up. There's a lot of time for them to be outside of their element or be outside of what their character, air quotes, what their character could be. And so because of that, I think that you end up getting a very real picture of what a person is like. You get a very real picture of who they genuinely are. Um, and so I've had an excellent time meeting people from the app, top streamers and viewers and starting streamers alike. People who weren't even on the app to begin with, but were friends of streamers, and then I got to meet them. It's just it's networking, it's making new friends, it's everything to love. I have been to a few of the events. I was at Playlist 2019 and I was at VidCon 2019. I will be at Playlist 2020. I will be at VidCon 2020. I've already got it marked on my calendars to do both. Playlist was by far my favorite. It was my first time being launched into meeting the live streamers and the live stream community. But not only that, it was a growing experience. It showed me what the larger stage was like for streamers or for content creators. There was just a lot. There was a lot there. So Playlist was my favorite. And what was the last question? What is the future for? Okay, Jay, tell me when you're ready. Okay. The future. Okay, so question 7. What is the future for Chris Casper, and where would you like to take the show? Okay. Yeah. So as far as the show goes, I would like to add more content to it. I would like to make it more viewer interactive because right now at the moment it's as if I'm doing the interview and the live is doing its own thing. And so I'd like to have a way to unite that, make it so that the live could be more engaged and not so separate from the interview part of it. I would like to introduce games and do things like that. As far as the future for me, I hope to continue growing as a streamer. I'd like to challenge myself as far as the things that I do and the things in the way that I conduct my live stream. But I also want to keep making new friends. I would like to keep developing relationships and see where everyone else grows and how they grow. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for featuring me, man. I'll see you, dude. All right, everyone. Much love to you all. I'll see you soon. Okay. Take care. Tomorrow.